Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to make him.
Any real dude that's ever really been in LA, he checked in. Any real dude that's ever been in Atlanta, he checked in. If you moving and you getting money, you gonna check in because you need to know the right places to be and places not to be. That's a business, man.
You think niggas wake up and just choose Boosie to steal from? You don't think there's better people to steal from? Like, it's not fucking happening. Boosie is not a victim, dog. Like, that nigga ain't no, Boosie is a fucking villain.
After he did what he did, she said, I know he wrong for forging your name and taking that money. Drop the lawsuit. I don't want to see my baby.
Hell no. Mama, you got me up.
Family will hurt you more than a best friend, bro. A best friend will be more loyal to you than family. That's why you can talk to your best friend about certain stuff before you can talk to family. Because you know in your heart that they will cutthroat you.
Taquari Hatch is finally speaking out and dropping bombshells about why he believes his own brother may have played a role in setting up Duke the Jeweler. And is not just making claims, he's pulling out receipts to prove his point. He said plain and simple, Bowie got diabetes because of lean. None of their aunts and uncles had it. According to Taquari, Bowie brought that on himself from going too hard with the syrup at a young age, just like a lot of rappers do. That's how he ended up with diabetes in his 20s. Straight self-inflicted. When it came to the murder charge, Taquari didn't hold back either. He said beating that case? Self-inflicted. Even the cancer diagnosis, he blamed that on choices. Taquari claimed Bowie started smoking Mojo in prison because he couldn't get weed. And Mojo, for those who don't know, is just synthetic chemicals, straight K2 type poison. So naturally, he said, it led to early cancer signs. Every setback, every health battle, according to him, was a result of Bowie's own decisions. Yet people still pity him. And that's the angle Taquari is pushing. He's basically saying before anyone rushes to take sides, they need to stop and hear both versions. If what he's claiming has truth to it, then Bowie is nothing but manipulative and full of it. Heavy accusations for sure. And right on cue, Bowie felt the need to clap back and defend himself. But with a spotlight on Taquari, Duke the Jeweler's death, and Boosie's whole crew, things are spinning out of control. Folks are starting to wonder if Boosie's camp is as clean as they say they are. Let's not forget, Duke's life was cut short in Houston right after leaving a dice game where word is he cashed out big. Just hours earlier, Duke and Boosie were seen hanging together. Duke even shared a picture on Instagram with Boosie, writing what was supposed to be a celebration, but turned out to be one of his final posts. And here's the twist. Boosie is now distancing himself, acting like Duke was just a stranger who came around once. He flat out told people, I had just met Dude yesterday. Boosie even doubled back on Vlad TV to set the record straight.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up, man. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting fucking money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. This shit bad low, man. Straight up, the shit bad low. Kill it.
Swearing up and down that he had zero ties to Duke's death. He claimed their only interaction was at that dice game. They chopped it up briefly, and that was it. Hours later, Duke was gone. Boosie admitted the whole thing rattled him, saying if the timing had been just a little different, he could have been the one lying in that parking lot. That's how close it all was. According to Boosie, Duke left the dice game on his own, walking toward his car, and that's when everything went left. He insists he wasn't anywhere near when shots were fired, painting himself as blindsided just like everyone else. And
He was walking to his car or something, and some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. See, some dudes had tried to rob me and walked off by himself, but I had just met dude yesterday. And they tried to rob dude. Dude must ain't get up.
Motion of flight Zach, we're number 2 for departure, flight attendants, please bear the captain.
Just met, he was in the garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. We was in the garage. We heard this, but it like they was far away in the parking lot. He must have went to his car or something. Dude was finna make a piece of him too. Damn.
He's been standing firm on the idea that his crew doesn't operate like that. Boosie's message is simple. His squad is too well off to be out here scheming on somebody just because they got lucky at a dice table. But let's keep it a buck. People online aren't buying Boosie's version of events at all. Every time he opens his mouth, the streets are side-eyeing him harder, saying he's trying a little too much to convince folks he's clean. And if there's one rule in the game, it's that the streets don't lie. The fact that Duke posted up with Boosie just hours before his death, that's not some harmless coincidence. That's a red flag waving in broad daylight. And Boosie knows it too, which is why he keeps hammering this narrative that the rumors don't line up with his character. But the more you repeat, I'm innocent, the more people start looking at you sideways. That one Vlad TV interview didn't help. It had fans questioning his credibility even more. The harder he explained, the shakier it sounded. Instead of clearing his name, Boosie may have just made the whispers louder. Now here's where the pot really boils. Boosie's crew has a reputation. They don't move unless there's something serious on the line. And Boosie himself bragged his team is well-fed, too rich to be out here scheming over dice money. But if that's the case, why does this whole story feel off? Something isn't adding up. And right on cue, in steps Taquari Hatch, the brother who's been airing family laundry for years. From favoritism to shady business to flat-out fraud, he's never been afraid to call Boosie out. Taquari is doubling down again, saying he's got receipts that prove Duke's death wasn't random. He even mocked the idea that somebody just woke up one day and chose Boosie to rob. According to him, Boosie isn't some victim. He's a villain in the shadows. But here's the real head-scratcher. Why is Taquari so eager to drag his own brother through the mud? Is this just sibling beef taken too far? Or is there truth buried in all this smoke? To make sense of it, you have to rewind to Duke's last days. Duke the jeweler, a heavy hitter out of Chicago, flew down to Houston for Labor Day weekend in 2022. Word on the block was he went there to link up with Boosie for business, carrying close to $1 million in jewelry and cash. That same day, Duke hit up a celebrity boxing match, then later pulled up to a private dice game where Boosie and his circle were hanging. Boosie admitted Duke went hard at the table, gambling big all night. He swore Duke lost nearly everything but kept it cool. No salt, no attitude. But that's exactly what raised his eyebrows. If Duke was impressed about money, why was he dead just hours later? Not long after that game, Boosie even asked Duke to design him a custom chain, a standout piece that would shine harder than anything else in the streets. Duke agreed. But the very next day, the nightmare began. After a show where Boosie performed, Duke left on his own, heading back to his car. Witnesses say 2 men jumped out of a black GMC, ran straight at Duke, opened fire, and stripped him of his bag and jewelry before speeding away. It didn't look sloppy. It didn't look random. It looked like a clean setup, precise and surgical. Yet Boosie stuck to his line. He wasn't involved. His people weren't involved. Duke just got caught slipping and someone was watching for the perfect moment. Now, with federal investigators stepping in, the pressure is climbing. They are looking at everyone in that room, questioning if this was bigger than just a street robbery. But the hard facts? No suspects, no arrests, no answers. Duke's killers vanish into the night along with his valuables. Meanwhile, Boosie keeps talking, but none of his words are clearing the smoke around his name. And just when suspicions couldn't get heavier, Boosie's car got pulled over only hours after Duke's death. Police called it a simple traffic stop, but the timing was way too eerie. The internet wasted zero time drawing connections, and suddenly, all eyes were on Boosie again. When the Fed officially stepped in and confirmed they were running a separate investigation,
Taylor invites him in. Act like he's covering for him, hanging out, everything's cool. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got 3 right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me, it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler round and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was have money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the 3 designated to say I'm up, I got the next, and they pass the dice to each other, but they...
everyone realized this wasn't just another rapper tangled up in street drama. This was different. This was bigger. Then came Duke's brother, Stax, who didn't mince words at all. He called it exactly how he saw it, a straight-up setup. No sugarcoating, no tiptoeing. Stax said flat out he believes Boosie lined his brother up. He's been locked in on footage, timestamps, receipts, piecing together a story that's rattling the streets. And the picture his painting doesn't look good for Boosie's name. Meanwhile, whispers about Jay Prince Jr., dice games, and loaded crews only added more smoke to the fire. The same dice games where too many rappers have gotten caught slipping. The streets are saying the math is mathing, and entertainers better beware. Because Houston has a history that's starting to look way too familiar. Duke wasn't just some random face in the crowd. He was a respected jeweler, moving million-dollar pieces and shining with celebrity clients everywhere he went. That night in Houston, he walked in proud, flashing his wig, not knowing it would be the last time he'd ever flex like that. Then the bombshell dropped. Report surfaced that Duke's Louis Vuitton bag, packed with his jewelry, was found inside Boosie's house. Not with a friend, not in storage, but sitting right there in his home. Allegedly, Duke asked Boosie to hold the bag during the dice game, but after his murder, it never made it back to his family. No police report, no official word. It was just there, like it belonged. And if that wasn't shady enough, Duke's phone went missing, too. But the feds weren't buying that. They tracked the digital trail, and the last ping before the phone went dark, Boosie's recording studio. Unless Duke's iPhone grew legs, somebody in that circle had it. Then came the smoking gun. Investigators dug into Duke's rental truck and reported he found Boosie's own nephew's fingerprint inside. That's not gossip, that's forensic evidence. And if that wasn't messy enough, word broke that Boosie's little cousin was also tied up in the mix. 2 family members linked straight to the crime scene. Now, with blood relatives connected to the evidence, Taquari Hatch's crazy claims don't sound so crazy anymore. They are starting to feel like reality. An eyewitness even claimed they saw Duke leaving Boosie's spot looking calm, like everything was cool. But then it got eerie. Boosie's nephew allegedly slid out the side, not the front, moving like he'd been posted, waiting. To a lot of folks, that looked like the clearest sign yet that Duke's death wasn't random. According to both federal reports and street chatter, Duke tried to fight back, but it was too late. The strap came out, shots were fired, and just like that, Duke's life was gone. This wasn't no robbery gone wrong. This wasn't heat of the moment. To the streets, it looked personal, calculated, planned down to the smallest detail. And now the feds are locking in even harder. Duke's jewelry didn't just disappear into the streets like some random stick-up. Reports say it stayed in the circle, kept by Boosie's own cousin. Whether that was outright robbery or just refusing to hand it back, it doesn't matter. The optics are ugly. The jewel staying in the family is damning enough. It paints the picture that this wasn't just random, it was inside business. But you can't even talk about this without bringing up Taquari Hatch. This isn't some small brotherly squabble. It's all-out war. We're talking lawsuits, fraud accusations, and over $360,000 allegedly lifted straight out of Boosie's bank account. According to police reports and court filings, Boosie accused Taquari of forging his signature and even helping Young Blue cut a deal with Empire behind his back. That's not just shady, That's betrayal carved in stone. Of course, Taquari fired back, denying everything and saying Boosie is just paranoid. But Boosie isn't budging. He's made it clear that he doesn't even see Taquari or his side of the family as blood anymore. And what makes it even heavier, Boosie admits the pain cuts deeper because he feels like their own mother has always been riding for Taquari. With Duke's death hanging over all of this, the family feud has turned nuclear. Even after all the paperwork, lawsuits, and fallout, Boosie confessed the wound that stings the most, feeling abandoned by his own mother. He says no matter what he's been through, she always takes Taquari's side. And to make it worse, she's allegedly pressured him to drop the lawsuits altogether. To Boosie, that favoritism didn't start with the money. It's been his whole life. He claims Taquari has always been the golden child, leaving him fighting for respect in his own family. So now Boosie isn't just facing financial betrayal. He's carrying years of emotional scars ripped wide open for the world to see. From the outside, it's tragic. Two brothers destroying each other in public, exposing their family's darkest secrets like it's a reality show. But this isn't some petty squabble over a holiday dinner. $360,000, legal documents, and fraud allegations don't just vanish with a handshake. Boosie says there's no coming back from this. The lawsuits keep moving through court, the family bonds are shattered, and the pain is raw. And if there's one harsh truth the situation proves, it's that sometimes the people closest to you will snake you worse than a stranger ever could. Taquari Hatch versus Boosie might just be the perfect example of that reality. But while all this family chaos explodes, Boosie still hasn't shaken the shadow of Duke's murder, and neither has Jay Prince. The streets are loud, demanding answers. Everybody's pointing fingers at Jay Prince, asking how something this big could go down on his watch. He's the one known for enforcing the check-in culture. If you touch Houston, you check in or you risk everything. So if Duke did play by those rules and this still happened, that's a serious problem. It makes people question whether that so-called protection is real or if it's just another setup dressed as safety. And that's where the whispers get darker. Did somebody give the green light? Because when you're in Jay Prince's city and somebody like Duke ends up dead, folks automatically start asking who signed off on it. People remember playing his day. Duke was seen gambling with both Boosie and Jay Prince Jr. hours before his death. That detail alone keeps the conspiracy flames alive, making people believe the story runs way deeper. But Jay Prince wasn't having it. He clapped back hard, saying just because his name carries weight in Houston doesn't mean he's pulling strings every time something goes down. He called it out for what it was, folks throwing rocks and hiding their hands. But even with his denial, the questions haven't stopped, and the streets are still connecting dots. They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. Jay Prince said, "I don't like them kinds of individuals." He shut the whole check-in narrative down, saying flat out there's no secret extortion system, no protocol forcing outsiders to pay up for safety. According to him, that's just a fantasy the media and police departments love to spin. And Jay Prince Jr. echoed his father's energy. He denied every rumor, making it crystal clear that neither Duke's murder nor takeoffs had anything to do with setups, dice games, or his crew. To him, it was tragic timing, nothing more. Legally, the Princes are untouched, no charges, no suspects, no proof. But let's keep it real. This was never just about paperwork. It's about perception. When your name is that powerful in Houston, people automatically assume you either know what's happening or you control it. And when tragedy strikes that close to your circle, the streets demand answers. That's a curse of influence. You don't even have to be guilty to get blamed. The check-in culture itself started getting shredded. Folks were asking, if checking in doesn't guarantee safety, then what's the point? Is it respect, or is it politics dressed up as tradition? Jay Prince may have been sick of being scapegoated, but the timing, the names, the Houston connection, it was too heavy for people to just brush off. Then Charleston White jumped in, adding gasoline to the fire. He said Duke's death hit him harder than most because Duke should have felt safe that night. Instead, he got lined up in an environment that was supposed to protect him. Charleston didn't hold back. He pointed directly at mob ties, especially Jay Prince Jr., accusing them of creating a dangerous atmosphere for rappers in Houston. According to Charleston, the dice games are the trap. He claims artists check in thinking they are protected, but they are really walking into rigged setups. And in his eyes, that's exactly what happened to Duke. He thought he was safe, but he was played from every angle. Charleston White says the bigger problem is simple. What they're calling protection in the industry feels a lot more like extortion. And the wild part? Too many people play along, because calling it out would mean admitting the whole system is crooked. So what do you think? Was Duke's death just a tragic coincidence? Or was he another victim of a dirty game dressed up as respect? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And let's be real, the feds aren't blind. They know Boozer's history. They know his circle. Once they pull one thread, they'll keep tugging until the whole sweater unravels. Same goes for Jay Prince. His name is like a shadow in Houston, always present, even when the paperwork says otherwise. No charges, no proof, but perception can be just as dangerous as evidence. Right now, all eyes are on what happens next. Will Boozy keep dodging the fire? Will Jay Prince stay untouchable? Or are we watching the early sparks of something bigger? One thing's for sure, the tension's thick, and the streets are talking. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video so more people can tap in. And don't go anywhere. Click the next video on your screen right now for even more messy celebrity drama.